No one ever expected a stable, silent village afternoon to snap into something terrifying. But that's exactly what happened to Amara. She was walking home from the fields, the warm sun high above, when she saw her father's house from afar, and through the open door she caught a glimpse of something that froze her blood, the richest man in the region, Tariq, standing in the doorway with his coat half off, his face pale and guilty. She paused. Why was he here at her house? And why did they look like? Amara's heart dropped as she remembered the sudden storm last night, the one that had cancelled the village feast. She thought she knew how strong the storm was, but she did not know how wild Tariq would be. And she did not know how the storm would carry something darker into her life. Before she could run into the house, her father, Mr. Obesai, appeared behind her and said sharply, "What are you doing? Why are you standing there like a ghost?" Amara jumped. He closed the door quickly and his eyes flicked to the sunlight outside. He didn't smile. Inside the house the air was thick. Tariq sat on a wooden chair in the center of the living room. Amara found herself pulled toward him, as though by an invisible string. Tariq's face held something Amara couldn't name: regret, fear, shame. She didn't know. Her stomach twisted. "Amara," her father said, voice hard. "You know what this is about?" Amara felt tears welling up. I don't understand," she whispered. Her father's eyes were hard as steel. "Tariq says you're pregnant. Is that true?" The words stopped for Amara in that moment. She swallowed. Her mind spun like a broken wheel. She remembered that stormy night, the drinks, the laughter, the heavy wind, and one reckless mistake she had tried to erase before dawn. But she had not erased it. "Yes," she stammered. I'm pregnant." Tariq's face turned to stone. He looked away. His voice came out quiet. "It was a mistake, Amara. A huge mistake." Amara felt her chest crack with pain. "But it wasn't just my mistake," she said, voice shaking. "What about you? What about what you did?" Tariq flinched. His eyes flicked to her father. Mr. Obesai's jaw tightened. He stood, looming. "Because you're the richest son in the city. You promised big things. I trusted you." His voice broke. "And you left her here, alone." A sudden explosion of anger and confusion cracked inside Amara. "Left me? I'm still here. And I'm still your father's daughter." Mr. Obesai took a deep breath. "You will marry the village madman. He has no respect, no money, no future, yet he will be your husband." The words hit Amara like a fist. She staggered. The slow, cruel weight of them pressed on her chest like a stone. "What? Why?" she cried. "Why must I marry him?" Her father's voice grew higher, colder, filled with a man's desperate pride. "Because you have brought shame to our family. Because the son of a billionaire impregnated you, abandoned you, and we cannot show weakness. You will marry him tomorrow." Tariq got up, trying to look tall and important. But his hand trembled. "Mr. Obesai, I'm sorry. Please don't make her marry someone she doesn't love." Her father turned on him. "You think this is about love? This is about honor. This is about who will carry our name now that you've destroyed it." Amara felt the words spin again. She wanted to cry, to scream, to run, but she stood frozen. Inside her mind, nightmares and hopes clashed, the hope that Tariq might care, the fear that her father's decision would trap her forever. She thought about the village madman, Kofi, they called him. People said he wandered around talking to the wind. They said his eyes were wild, his laughter strange. A shiver ran down her leg. Me married to him? Her cheeks burned at the thought. Tariq swallowed. "You don't have to do this, Mr. Obesai. I will take responsibility. I will marry her." Her father's laugh was hollow. You marry her. And what of the rumors? What of the bargain my daughter makes with someone forgotten by us all? No. The deal is made. Amara felt tears run down her face. She closed her eyes. She felt the village air heavy with judgment. She felt the soil beneath her feet, the ancient trees watching. It was as if the whole world held its breath. Late that night, she lay awake in her little room, moonlight creeping through the wooden bars. She stared at the ceiling, every whisper of wind felt like an enemy. She remembered the storm, they had all laughed, the city lights of Torik's world seemed far away, but the wind from his world had reached her. She thought of the little life growing inside her and asked, what will become of us? Will Tarik come back? Will my father see who I really am? Will Kofi, this haunted man, save me, destroy me, or do something neither of them can imagine? Her heart hammered. She fought to breathe. Somewhere in the dark, a twig cracked outside her window. She sat up. Her door creaked. Her father's voice echoed faintly, sleep well, Amara. Tomorrow, everything changes. When the morning sun rose over the quiet village, everything seemed calm on the surface, but inside Amara's heart, the storm raged on. She still felt the cold weight of her father's words from the night before, you will marry the village madman. She stood at the door of her little cottage, sandals in hand, hearing the rooster crow and the wind rustle the palm leaves. Outside, familiar shadows. Inside, the future trembling like a broken bird. Her father, Mr. Obesai, appeared at the gate. His face was set, hard lines, no kindness. Amara, he said, today you begin your new life. Don't walk slowly. Walk straight. And remember your place. Amara nodded, though inside she felt crushed. My place. She wondered. Is my place shame? Is it fear? She glanced at the window where her small child-to-be must be holding on inside her, innocent and silent. Her fingers touched her belly. That small life, fragile as a raindrop, brought both hope and dread. Then she saw Kofi. They brought him down the dirt path toward the house. He looked different in the daylight. Wild eyes, yes, but there was also something lost in him, like an old song forgotten. The villagers whispered as he walked, there's the madman. They kept big spaces in their voices when they said it. Kofi stopped a few steps away. He wore ragged clothes but held his head high. His eyes met Amara's. A chill ran through her. She didn't know what to see, menace, sadness, maybe even a tiny spark of kindness. But the world around them held its breath. Her father gave a sharp nod. It is done. You will be married at noon. Prepare yourself. Inside, Amara's mind turned into a whirlwind. She thought of Tarik, the city billionaire's son who had wronged her. She thought of his cold face, his words that night, it was a mistake. She thought of her father's anger and this sudden forced fate. Why must I pay again? She asked silently. Why must someone else carry this shame? At noon the ceremony was strange. Not like a joyful village wedding with drums and dance. Instead, quiet steps, serious faces, empty chairs. Kofi sat on a low wooden stool. Amara walked down the rough aisle made of earth. Her dress was simple, but in her mind it felt heavy as iron armor. Her father stood beside her, his arms crossed. The village elder, an old woman whose voice shook like dry branches, spoke words in the old language. But Amara heard only the pounding of her heart, the sound of futures collapsing and being rebuilt in broken wood. The villagers looked on, some with pity, some with relief that honor had been restored. But none looked at Amara as a woman who had a choice. When the ceremony ended, Kofi stood. He did not smile. He did not reach for her hand. Instead he turned and walked away, and the villagers followed him silently. Her father told her quietly, go to the hut behind the house. It will be your home now. Amara felt like a ghost walking there. The hut was small, shadows deep, a single candle flickering. The roof leaking a drop or two. She stepped inside. Kofi was there, back turned. He didn't speak. Just sat. She felt the air thick with what was unsaid. She wanted to ask, why me? Why this? But the words stuck in her throat. As days passed, the tension grew thicker than the summer heat. Her father visited, bringing food, but never looking at Kofi. Kofi rarely spoke. The villagers kept their distance. Amara felt alone in a room surrounded by people. She thought of her unborn child. She thought of Tarek's deserted promise. She thought of her own heart, which still beat for freedom. One evening, Kofi finally spoke. His voice low, shaky. You are not like the other girls. Amara stiffened. What do you mean? She asked softly. He stood, paced once, looked at the moon through the open door. They fear me. They call me crazy. I hear voices sometimes. I walk in the night. But I know things, feel things, they don't understand. He turned to face her. I know you didn't choose this. And I know you didn't want this life. Amara's breath caught. Silence hung. She wanted to run away, but the door was closed. The air inside the hut seemed to pull her in. Then what? She asked. Kofi didn't answer immediately. He sat again. Tomorrow I will go to the forest, he said. There's a place where the river meets the roots of the trees. I will be gone a while. When I come back, things will change. Amara's mind raced. Fear, hope, curiosity all mixed. What does he mean? She thought. What will change? She tried to trust him, but the fear of everything she had lost overshadowed any new possibility. That night, she lay awake long after the candle burned out. Outside, the wind whispered through cracks. Somewhere a dog barked. She thought of Tariq. What if he returned? What if he brought a promise of safety and wealth and normality? Then she thought of her father. What if he found someone proud and fine for her later? Then she thought of Kofi, this stranger husband. What if he was dangerous? What if this was worse than anything? The subconscious stirred within her. What would you do if you were in her shoes? Leave a comment. Watch out for part 2.